Gal Elot from Redondo Beach was born in Israel, but has spent most of his life in the United States. Some of his friends in Los Angeles thought he picked a precarious time to visit his homeland. I caught up with Gal at the Dead Sea.
Oh, they thought I was crazy. They laughed. They didn't believe me. And then they were like, when I got closer to the date, they're like, "What are you doing? You can't go. You're going to kill yourself." But, you know, this is my home, and this is where I was born and raised, and this is where I should be, and especially at a time of need.
Since the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the images we are most familiar with is what we see on television. Terrorism, suicide bombings, army tanks on attack, a country torn apart. But Gal says there is much more to this country.
The army doesn't come here. It goes to defend our citizens, and that's in the territories where we would never go. And that's basically the Gaza Strip and, you know, mostly the West Bank.
And in fact, Tel Aviv is a vibrant city with beautiful beaches and close to many historical sites, a tourism's paradise. But the terrorists and fighting have taken its toll on the economy. There is hardly a tourist to be seen, the turmoil scaring off most would-be visitors.
No tourism. Most of the customers there are Israeli. Not like it was before the Intifada.
So you think most people are scared off?
You mean tourists?
Yes.
For sure. For sure.
But business owner Sfega, who has lived in the States many years ago, says every city has its problems. He feels safe here.
It's not crime in Israel. Almost none. People, you know, walk at night after 12 o'clock, okay? It's very, very good.
Many others aren't so comfortable, despite tightened security. Checkpoints are a constant occurrence, every gathering a possible target for another suicide bombing attack.
No, I don't feel safe. I don't think it's a safe place. Even now, as I'm sitting here, I'm looking around.
Here in Israel, much like the U.S. after September 11th, most people say they must just go on with their lives, otherwise they give in to terrorism. However, it's a different life, a life often filled with precautions, fears, and uncertainty about the future. And while there is mostly peace in this capital city, as a visitor it would be easy to forget the images we've seen from afar. But for those living here in Tel Aviv, there are constant reminders of the horror at hand, like this ravaged beachfront disco. It was just a little over a year ago that a suicide bomber detonated a blast that killed 21 teenagers at this club Pasha, injuring 100 more. A night of fun turned fatal. A memorial stands, their names etched in stone and in the hearts of those who survived.
It's on my mind even when I don't go here, because some of the people who died here were from school I used to go to, so I knew them. So it's always on my mind, but it makes me sad.
This is the entrance to the main gate of Masada.
The Jews' struggles are well documented and symbolized here at the Masada. Over 2,000 years ago, a last stand against a conquering Roman Empire, the Jews faced slavery but chose death instead.
By the time they got up here, every Jew committed suicide because they'd rather die free than live as a slave. And that's basically the whole point of survival, I guess, in this part of the world. And that's why, you know, we always say never again, never again. Even before the Holocaust, it was always never again.
The struggle for the Jews continues, but the Palestinians also have a struggle and a dream of the same, a better life in a land to call their own. Of course, they are not all terrorists. No Palestinian would talk to me on camera, but most just want peace like everyone else. One Israeli soldier spoke anonymously, admitting, "We do our duty and go back to our homes, smoke our cigarettes, drink imported beer, but they have nothing," he said in despair. In the holy city of Jerusalem, a place of prayer and often bloodshed, it is here where three religions were born and now two collide. Each the Arabs and Jews claim rightful ownership, and for now it is shared and guarded by Israeli soldiers.
The only solution is for people to kind of try to get along and live next to one another, because as you could see, there's a lot of Jewish and Arabs inside Jerusalem, inside the old city, and they seem to be getting along quite well. So I think it should be the same thing all over the country.
And just when you think peace might be possible, machine gun fire erupts. An Israeli police officer is shot down by a suspected Palestinian terrorist who is stopped for questioning. Chaos ensues. One innocent bystander is killed in the exchange. The Israeli officer carried off in critical condition. A suspect later arrested.
I think that the solution at the end will be live and let live. I think there are definitely a place for a Palestinian state. I think that where they have a majority of the population, they should be able to run their social and civil life.
Most Israelis I talk to believe in the backing of the United States, but also feel that President Bush must do more to end this conflict quickly.
My wishful thinking, next year. But I know it will take a lot of time to build a new relationship with trust and helping each other.
All agree conditions must change. The fate of a future generation lies on its shoulders. Gal says no matter what happens, he is determined to move back to his homeland.
Even though America is great and I feel very comfortable there and I love it, this is my roots, this is my history. And this is where I basically belong. This is how I feel.
This is Greg Montemero in Tel Aviv, Israel for Life in Times.